Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to put on our accountant hats and conquer the UK's CT600 corporation tax form together, step by step. If you're a busy business owner, this form can look incredibly intimidating, but we're going to break down exactly what you need to know, box by box, so you can get this filed accurately and confidently.
We're going to tackle this in 6 clear steps: getting started, reporting turnover and profits, calculating gains and deductions, tax rates, supplementary forms, and finally, your final review and submission. Let's get right into it.
Step 1. Getting started with the CT600. Nailing the foundation right here prevents a whole lot of headaches down the line. When you first pull up the return, you've got to nail down your exact accounting period dates in boxes 30 and 35. You also need to pay super close attention to the checkboxes right below that. For instance, you absolutely need to tick box 55 if your return contains estimated figures, or box 65 if you've got disclosable avoidance schemes you need to notify HMRC about.
Listen, HMRC does not mess around with deadlines. If they send your company a notice to deliver a tax return, you have to hit that filing date. If you miss it or forget to disclose mandatory details like those avoidance schemes, you're getting slapped with a penalty. And yes, that applies even if you literally have zero tax to pay.
Before we jump into the numbers, make sure you hit box 5 if you have Northern Ireland trading activity. And right next door is box 6. Tick that to confirm your small or medium-sized enterprise, or SME status. Skipping these is a really easy way to mess up your specific trading activity profile right out of the gate.
All right, moving on to step 2, reporting turnover and profits. This is where your financial records really become the star of the show.
You'll kick things off by dropping your total trade turnover right into box 145. From there, you'll use the section just below to figure out your actual trading profits. Think of this as the jumping-off point for your entire main business income calculation.
Getting to your net trading profits in box 165 is basically a 3-step dance. You take your initial trading profits in box 155 and simply subtract any trading losses you've brought forward in box 160. It really is just that straightforward deduction to get your net figure.
Now, circling back to something we mentioned earlier, if any of those income figures aren't 100% final yet, ticking box 55 for estimated figures is an absolute pro tip. It's crucial for avoiding common filing errors and rejections because it lets HMRC know you're still finalizing the math.
Step 3. Calculating gains and deductions. Now that we've got the top-line revenue sorted, let's accurately calculate your gains and your essential deductions. Did your business sell any assets? If so, we need to handle chargeable gains carefully. You'll start with your gross chargeable gains in box 210, subtract your allowable losses, including losses brought forward, in box 215, and that leaves you with your net chargeable gains in box 220.
What's really cool about this part of the form is how it funnels all your complex deductions right down into one magic number. It tallies up your non-trade deficits and capital allowances, puts your total deductions in box 295, and subtracts them to give you box 300. That box 300 is your profit before we even touch qualifying donations or group relief.
Putting on my helpful accountant hat for a second, I cannot stress this enough. Take your time here. Box 300 is the ultimate anchor point of this form. We have to get that number absolutely perfect before deducting any qualifying donations in box 305 or group relief in box 310 to arrive at your chargeable profits.
Step 4. Tax rates and final calculations. Once we have our final profit figure from those deductions, we have to apply the actual tax rates.
In the tax calculation grid, you're going to plug in the exact amount of profit chargeable to corporation tax. Then, you apply the correct percentage rate for your specific financial year. The form even lets you split this up if your accounting period happens to straddle 2 different financial years with different rates.
Step 5. Supplementary forms and required attachments. Listen, doing the math correctly is only half the battle. Missing supplementary forms is a guaranteed way to stall your entire submission.
Right at the top of the Accounts and Computation section, you need to verify your attachments. Check box 80 to confirm you're attaching accounts for this exact period. If they're for a different period, that's box 85. And if you aren't attaching them at all, you'll have to explain exactly why in box 90.
You also have to explicitly mark which supplementary pages you're tossing in. The most common ones you'll see are the CT600A, which you need if your close company has loans or arrangements to participators, or the CT600L if you're going after those research and development credits.
Okay, here is the absolute golden rule of tax prep.
I want you to write this down. Matching your profit figures on the CT600 exactly to your attached final accounts is the #1 way to keep HMRC from rejecting your filing. The numbers on the form and the numbers in your attachments must speak the exact same language. No exceptions.
And finally, step 6, review and submission. We've structured the income, run the numbers, and gathered the docs. Now it's time for the final review.
In this last stretch, you're verifying your net corporation tax liability. You'll subtract things like income tax already deducted from your gross income in box 515, factor in any restitution tax or overpayments, and arrive at your ultimate final self-assessment of tax payable right there in box 528.
Before you even think about hitting submit, run through this rapid-fire checklist. Are your accounting dates dead on? Are your Northern Ireland and SME boxes ticked? Did you hit box 55 if you're estimating? Does your box 300 match your accounts perfectly? And are all those required supplementary forms attached?
I know I might sound like a broken record here, but always ask yourself this one final question before hitting send. Does your box 300 calculation perfectly mirror your final accounts? Seriously, taking an extra 2 minutes to verify that one specific number is the absolute secret to a stress-free tax season.
Stick to this structured path, and you can file your return with total confidence, get it off your desk, and get back to doing what you do best, running your business. But before you officially sign off, ask yourself, is your box 300 totally bulletproof, or are you accidentally leaving money on the table through missed deductions? Thanks for joining me on this explainer today, and happy filing!